State the name of the police department, and then start telling me about your incident with the police, and I'll ask a few questions as we proceed.
Okay. My name is Paul Luke Peterson. The police department is the Saugas, Massachusetts Police Department, and I was assaulted by police officer Thomas Wilson, and then arrested by him on false charges of disorderly conduct and assaulting a police officer. This all happened after my refusal to be frisked by him. I had already told him what I was doing in the area with binoculars around my neck, bird watching. He insisted on 3 separate occasions that birds are not seen in the wintertime. I got to see the police report at the Lynn District Court, I believe it's called. It's Lynn, Massachusetts. And it was totally false. Every sentence had at least 1, if not 2 or 3 lies in it, including I refused to cooperate completely, which was totally false, and that I had assaulted him with my fist or hands or something, which was also false. I was appalled at this audacity of the police officer to totally make up lies throughout the whole police report. And he had called back up as well when he was throwing me to the, well, I'm not sure if it was before he was committed to the ground or after, but he did call back up. But when they arrived, he already had me in the ground and was putting the handcuffs on me. And I did have a cut on my leg, and I also injured my arm because of the way he pulled my arm back. And
well, let me back up a few paces. When he approached you, what were you doing at the time?
I had just stepped off the marsh bird watching, and I was looking down a street at the names of the side streets that are going down the street, just because I was curious to know, to get a sense of where I was, even though I had been there one time before, bird watching as well. I relied on public transportation, so I was going to be eventually heading over to the bus stop, which is about half a mile away. And then I heard someone's voice, and it was his, and he said, "I look suspicious." And so I realized it was a police officer, and I was totally caught off guard. I had no idea what he was referring to. And so when he asked what I was doing, I immediately responded that I was bird watching. And then he said, "No birds in winter." Immediately he responded by saying that. And then he asked me, "Oh yeah, what birds did you see?" And then I gave him a whole long list of birds I saw on the marsh and on the river, including various species of raptors and sparrows and grassland birds like the lark and the snowflake. And
Okay, let me ask you a few more questions. Do you do bird watching year round? Is that what you do as a hobby?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, okay. Year round, and keep notebooks of all my outings. I have several notebooks filled with loads and loads of information about all my bird outings. And I even had a notepad and pen on me at the time that I was rested with a list of birds I had seen in the time I had started birding that day, which was around 6 in the morning.
Okay, and let me stop you there for a minute. Now, in terms of doing the bird watching, is there anything illegal about what you were doing?
No, I was on, I don't believe it was private property because motorbikers bicycle there, dog walkers walk there. As far as I know, it's public access. It's a marshland area, and I've been there a couple times before that, and and the police said, people just walk their dogs and they ride their motorbikes and whatnot, and this house is nearby. So when I stepped off the marsh, there were some houses nearby.
Okay, but you weren't doing anything illegal at the time he approached you. Is that right?
Right.
Okay.
Right, down the street. Yeah.
And why did he approach you? Did someone make a call? Did he just observe you? What made him come to you?
He happened to be patrolling the neighborhood at the time and saw me looking down the street with my binoculars. I was trying to look at the names of the side streets going off the street.
But that's not illegal.
No, not illegal.
Okay.
In the report, he lied and said I was looking at houses. He made so many lies up. Yeah.
Okay, so now he's approached you. What was the first thing he said to you?
I look suspicious.
Okay, and what did you say?
Let's see, I don't remember what I said, but I know that soon after he said that, he asked me what I was doing, to which I responded, I had just stepped off the marsh. I had been bird watching.
Okay, and was there any other offense, any other crime alleged? Did he say that you did something else that we don't know about? I mean, was it just the fact that you looked suspicious that he was concerned with?
Exactly. In the police report, he had mentioned something about there had been several crimes in the area, but because of the nature of this person being a liar, it doesn't hold any weight that the fact, the fact that he put that in the police report, that there had been, because everything in that report, that part of it could have been true. I have no idea. I don't know anything about Saugus. I don't know anyone in Saugus. I just went there to bird watch because it's a really good birding spot in the wintertime with the raptors and the grassland birds and in the waterfowl. And
okay, so let me just back up. So you're here doing something perfectly legal, just a bird watching, and something that's a hobby for you. You've got binoculars. You've got a notepad.
brand new binoculars.
Okay, and you've got
Brand new binoculars.
okay, brand new binoculars. You've got a note.
$300. Yeah.
Okay, you got a notepad, and you're not bothering anybody.
Exactly.
Okay, so now he engages you, says you look suspicious. How did this end up in an arrest? How did this thing go further?
Because he wanted to look. I mean, can I give you an opinion and not a fact here?
Yeah, give me your opinion.
My opinion is that he wanted to look for trouble where he didn't have any trouble, because I told him right away what I was doing, and I immediately responded to his next question of the birds that I saw. I gave him a long list of the birds I saw, and every time I gave an answer, he kept on saying, 3 times he said, there's no birds in winter, which is laughable if you're a bird watcher, because anyone who's a bird watcher knows there's lots of birds in winter. So anyways, so on the, okay, here's what happened next. On the third episode, the third time he said to me there's no bird in winter, I was at a loss for words because he kept on being a blockhead. And so I said to him, not meaning to be flippant, but I had no idea what to do about his unyielding response. So I said, when he said there's no birds in winter, I said, try telling that to the birds. Because I couldn't get through to this guy. The fact that he looked like he just didn't want to believe that I was doing a legitimate hobby. He wanted to believe that I was up to no good. And so I for some reason, I said to him, try telling that to the birds. And then he got animated and stepped out of his police cruiser and demanded that I be frisked. To which I said, don't you have to have a justifiable cause? Then he looked at me as if like, I have knowledge, and that's a power to have knowledge. So then he said again, I want to frisk you. And then I repeated, I think you have to have justifiable cause. And then he paused again, and then the next thing I know, he threw me to the ground, called back up. I don't know the exact sequence of when he called back up versus when he threw me to the ground. And then he handcuffed me, and then they put me into the back of the police cruiser, and they're asking me questions.
So let me stop you there. You're out on a bird watching venture. You've committed no crime. Did you have any weapons?
Nope.
Do you have?
I had a notepad and a pen, and I had my bus schedules, my 2 bus schedules.
Okay.
And I had a face mask in case it got cold out to cover my face, because I was out there since 6 a.m. on January 5th.
Okay, what time did he contact you? What time of the day was it?
It was around 12:30.
So this is 12:30 in the afternoon. It's not like midnight or anything.
Exactly.
So you're out in what's the area that you were in?
It's let me see. It's right next to the. I have my map of Saugus right here. It's okay. The area I was in was close to the Lynn, Massachusetts border. Let me just get my Saugus map. Oh, page 210. Let me see. Here's 210. Here it is, Saugus. Okay, I was in the section of Saugus that's known as